Man, so I let JD come on to Brace for Impact, first time in years. And as he's hanging up, now I got to text him right now. As he's hanging up, he killed the live feed on one of the biggest nights that I've had on this thing. Let me see. I got to text JD, uh, tell him that like, dude, you killed the feed. All right, I'm back up. Man, I had good numbers. Let's see. Alter says, Mike, the heck, if you keep having production staff, because I'm sure TNA is going to give you a job for sure. I'm pretty sure that was JD because I didn't do anything. I was just adding Gerard and everybody to the chat. So I gotta get this to Gerard. Hold on, I gotta get this to Gerard and to Namdi. Um, let me see. uh, let's see. Okay. Yeah, it was JD guys. Here, I'm gonna let them know. Here's the new stream. Okay. That's so fucking funny. All right. My bad. Let's see. Sounds like TNA production staff are running your show. Yeah, for sure. Nope, just my me and JD not knowing what we're doing. You know, we've done the show for 4 or 5 years now using the same software. But yeah, so overall, a disappointing show to say the least, and it's even disappointing. And I went into it with like low expectations. I didn't expect there to be banger matches all up and down the show. I did expect there to be some like more than a couple of good matches. I expected there to be some big names coming in, but we never got that. We got Daria whatever her name is, and we got Cora Jade, and that was really about it. So, and then we got the new Heather by Elegance, whatever his name is. Let's see. Let's get Namdi on the show. What's up, my brother? What'd you think of the show, dude?
Man, I don't even know where to begin, man. It was, I would say it was probably in the middle for me. It's pretty low. It wasn't, I don't think it was a good show, to be honest, man. It wasn't a good show. The main event was pretty good. Um, they started off pretty well. Then, obviously, we got to the Elegance Inspiration match, and everything just went downhill from there, man. Like, it just went downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny is that AJZ guy that they presented. I called that. I remember it was on one of my podcasts, but I was like, when they brought AJZ out in Minnesota, I think it was, and he got squashed by Mike Santana. I was like, I think this guy's got some talent. He looks good. He's a young guy. He's shredded, and he seemed like he had a little bit. It was just a squash match, but I thought this guy's
Yeah.
got some charisma. And then when they announced that contest for the Mr. Elegance, I was like, oh, they're probably gonna put that kid in there. And sure enough, they did. What I didn't anticipate was how cheesy and awful it was going to be.
Mike, I'm sort of trying to wrap my head around the thought process in this whole thing.
Yeah,
Like, their skits are never good. Like, they are never good.
yeah.
But for some weird reason, they put them on TV, and it's crazy because they literally put them on TV, like on a live episode of TNA today. Like, this was like the biggest show in over a decade, and
What
they
I would say one of the most important shows in the history of the company for sure.
literally,
Yeah,
and they had to run with this. It didn't quite make any sense to me, and it's one of the main issues I have with this creative, man. It's like, I always try to, like, I'm trying to factor the thought process in this whole thing. Like, what possessed them to put this crap on TV? It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's TNA, man.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's what it is.
Look, I realized a long time ago that that's just what this company is. some people, some corporations, and some teams they're not capable of greatness.
Right.
They can do good things, they can win sometimes, but they're not capable of being great. And people who are not capable of being great, they get swallowed in the biggest moments, and that's kind of what happened with TNA. Like the whole world started crumbling around them, leading up to the show. Like, how do you not have your contracts done before the end of the year? Like, how do you not like have your roster set before the debut on AMC? You don't even have your advertising matches for guys that aren't even going to be wrestling here, right? and and then how do you not get the visas straightened out? Like it's not uncommon for someone to miss a match because of a visa issue, but
Right.
to have all of them like
It's
all of your
crazy,
foreign
man.
talent like not be able to make it in because their visas expired, like that is just straight up, people that just can't be great. Like they don't know how to be great. They just don't understand what it takes to get to that level. They don't have the management skills. They don't have the professionalism. They just don't have it.
Not.
And this is what you get. So, and
I,
honestly, they deserve the ridicule that they're getting because of what they did. Like they could have, and this is what happens when you are great. You have injuries or you have issues with a show, you can pivot it, and sometimes it's even better than what it was gonna be, right?
yeah.
Like you put in replacement matches, you work hard, you grind, you work overtime, but instead what they did is like, oh, okay, well we missed out on the Leon match. A lot of people aren't here, so let's just have some folks cut promos. So we're gonna do 2 hours of promos, and we're gonna give them like one good match. Like I think he had two good matches
Right.
because I did like the Hardys match to begin the show. I thought the main event was good. They did have the shenanigans with the referee, but that's just like what they do. So that doesn't really bother me. But
This
I did think
company.
that it was a strong main event, and I was glad that Mike Santana became the world champion again.
No, I'm actually surprised they actually pulled that off. Like, no, well, obviously there was a shenanigan with the referee, but besides that, I'm actually surprised they did pull that off with no, like, it wasn't overbooked or anything. But then again, it's just this company, man. I think they really defined the term ineptitude. Like they are really inept. And I think it just transcends just creative. I think they're just inept in every facet of the business.
Yeah,
They're not qualified for anything. Their thought process sucks. They have poor self awareness. Like it's insane. Like, how do you get rid of what? 10 talents? Like, literally, your rival company picks up six talents from your company in 1 week. We're talking about four talents, 4 to 5 talents potentially leaving the company this week. Like, it's insane. Like, it's
yeah,
insane. There's no smooth transition in place. Everything just happened, like, right off the bat, overnight.
yeah.
It's literally crazy.
What
Makes no
what we
sense.
should be talking about is one of the biggest nights in the history of the company, but what we're actually talking about is how incompetent these people are. So, and you know what? Like, even I'm saying all this as just like as a fan, I didn't think the show was good, right? And I don't think this is going to hurt them. I really don't. I get the feeling that tonight there was a lot of buzz tonight. I know like Joe Lanza, Voices of Wrestling, said there was no buzz. No, there was people talking about this goddamn show nonstop for the last 2 weeks.
No,
And
it's crazy because I actually agree. Like, I've always made a comment like in our group chat, like this company's one like bad couple of ratings happening to them before they start cleaning house. But I don't think they're gonna lose viewerships. If anything, they're potentially gonna gain more viewerships because they're relying so heavily on NXT.
yeah,
Like, you could just okay, look at the attendance today. Most of the attendance today were what? NXT fans. I
yeah,
mean, it's just crazy. Like, it's
dude.
pretty.
They were chanting "Holy shit" when Sol Ruka and the other lady came out.
Zarya, yeah,
I'd never seen Zarya before. I know Sol Ruka because I think she's like a mega star. I saw her
oh
at the
for
John Cena
sure,
final show, and she came into TNA and did some stuff. I had never seen the other person before. I thought they'd signed a new wrestler off the Indies, like when she first came out. I was
literally.
like, oh, this is cool. Like, who is this lady? But the crowd was like chanting "Holy shit" when they came out, and I was like, they're not like, I know Sol Ruka is becoming a big star. She's not there yet, but
Sure.
I think she's going to be. But the other
I
ones, like, I
was
never even heard of this person.
I was pretty surprised that Soruka was over there because I thought she was like geared for the main roster. So I was pretty surprised that she came on TNA tonight.
Yeah.
I was kind of like wrapping my head around that a little because typically the Fed wouldn't want her to, you know, be at TNA if she's being called up to the main roster. So I was kind of pretty surprised. I mean, Zarya, I mean, when her face popped up on the Titantron, I figured that was her. But I wasn't expecting Soruka.
Well,
I mean,
they did do a thing on NXT earlier this week where
yeah,
they said that Sol Ruka and Zarya were going to be there because of they were challenging for the tag titles at Genesis. Well, they threw a wrench into that and they decided to put Zarya in that match because apparently TNA has no women on the roster qualified to work a world title match because Danny
right.
Luna's out of that match because of her visa issue and nobody in the company's good enough to be a world champion, so they had to pull somebody else from NXT. So that's what they're doing now.
They
So
had 1 month. TNA had 1 month to wrap up this visa situation. And you see, that's the problem with this company sometimes is because they have all this ample time. They obviously, you don't go live for the TV shows, so they have ample time to sort of prepare for their shows. I mean,
yeah.
be, besides the 1 month taping block, they have a full month to plan. But like, what are they slacking off? I mean, I don't get it. Like, literally,
You know, I think it just comes down to incompetence and just
right?
people that don't know how to be great. And I think that's what we saw tonight. It was a bunch of chaos leading up to the show. They put out the best product that they thought that they could, and I guarantee you, at the end of the night, they all thought it was good because they just like what we like and what they think that we deserve are two different things. But hey, Nambi, I'm gonna let you go,
Yeah,
brother. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull in Gerard now, and then I'm gonna get to the chat. And I'm gonna call it a night because it is getting close to midnight. But hey, thanks for coming on, brother. I appreciate you.
no problem, man. Later.
Later. All right. I am here now with Gerard. We used to call him Big New Distribution Deal Gerard, but he's just Gerard now from bodyslam.net. Gerard, man, you talk about TNA more than any person on the planet Earth. It's like you and IO. What did you think of tonight's show?
Hey man, you might have to start calling me Big Name Distribution Deal again, because too many more shows like this, and they might lose this faster than MLW lost Reels.
yeah, yeah. So here's the thing. Like I watched this show, and I didn't think it was a good wrestling show, for sure. Because they didn't have hardly any wrestling on it. Now, I'm not a guy that needs 5-star matches up and down the show, but can you give me something? I thought the main event was pretty good. I like the opener. Other than that, you had nothing. Um, I I did get the feeling that the show did come across as like a big time event, a big time happening. I thought it was cool that they had the AMC crossover with the stars from Dark Winds in the front row. And they introduced some new characters. Now I already know that Cora Jade stinks, right? But I did think that Daria Ray played her part well. I thought that she was probably the best promo on the whole show, to be honest with you. So I think they did do some of that. And then they paid off the Mike Santana angle, which was also good. But so I think for your average wrestling fan, you probably were not that interested in it. But I think that if you're trying to pick up some new fans and maybe some casual viewers, they probably did do that.
Yeah, I agree. It's like sometimes it's almost like you and I especially, because we look at like a lot of the business stuff that a lot of other people don't really pay attention to. So like we're just like, oh, why is this? Like why is contracts going on? Why is this person here? Why is this person here? And like the casual viewer is probably just like, who is that? Like, what do you mean? Especially on like a bigger platform like this, where like maybe they don't know about a Steve Macklin or something like that to begin with, but you and I are like, oh man, Macklin's not there. Like that doesn't bode well for his status with the company or whatever. So like I do kind of step back sometimes and like realize that like I'm a more like ingrained viewer than like a casual viewer with a lot of this stuff. Um, I like the Daria edition. I think you keep her and Santino in there, kind of like the dual authority figures. That can be kind of cool. We don't need any more knockouts. Like, I mean, if you look at the knockouts roster, like a lot of them are like younger, like they picked them up off the independents and they've been here for a little bit and they're like coming up. They got some, and like, I think we talked about this a little bit too. Like, TNA for a long time has had like too many ex like WWE talent. And I think there's a few sticking around that like maybe don't really need to be there, but like the them is valuable, Hardy's are valuable, and the female side, Ash I would say is valuable. Leading Lee is valuable because they can still go and they can like still help the younger talent. Where like people are like, oh, signing Nick Nemeth isn't that big of a deal. It's actually a pretty big deal because
Yeah.
he can go better than a lot of even like the younger guys. Like the shape that he's in is just it's insane for his for his age and how long he's been in the business and all that. Like
Yeah,
Frankie's another guy.
there's a narrative out there. The Nick Nemeth's not good. He's very good. He
Yeah,
is a very good pro wrestler. He's a
sure.
great
Like
pro wrestler. He might not do the style that everybody likes, but I happen to like his style, and I think that he always does well. Hold on, Io saying breaking news, fellas. What is the
oh,
breaking news, Io? Do I need to go to Twitter?
yeah, I'm gonna go in there right now and see what's up.
Let me see what's going on
What is
here.
TNA doing?
Okay, hold on. Excuse. Oh, so I did hear about this. So this is from TNA. I'm not going to pull up the tweet because I'm not going to pull up the tweet because I don't want to get nuked. But it says there's drama following the conclusion of TNA Impact as Nick Nemeth looked to call a shot, and a big world title match was made official. I think they made it a 3-way, so it's a 3-way match at the pay-per-view now, which is kind of I'm pretty sure. I was like, if it's it. I was like, if they're not doing Nick Nemeth versus Santana, then it's probably a 3-way. Wait, hold on. Dobby's saying it's not. Hold on, Dobby, what is it? Hold
It might
on.
just be Nemeth and
Frankie
Santana.
versus Santana Texas Death Match. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that could be pretty good with Nemeth as a special ref. Oh, that sounds like dog shit. Never mind.
Here we go. What were we, I was just gonna say this. I was just gonna praise them for not overbooking this,
Yeah.
and then we put out a digital exclusive. Whereas at least this wasn't on. It just didn't air on TV. But come on, man. Like,
Yeah. So we're definitely not getting AJ Styles in the main event.
no.
Yeah, but I think that we will get AJ Styles wrestling soon. He was looking at the belt in the show, so they just shot an angle with Frankie. I think we're just gonna get the match with Frankie.
We might. I think even in the one with Santana now, where he was back there, like I, I don't know. I think it could. I think it could go either way because you know, whatever. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. What are
Yeah,
your thoughts on the inspiration being out of the company?
you know what? To be honest with you, like I said on one of my live streams earlier in the week, I was like, I would like to see them do almost a total title reset anyway. Like
Yeah,
flip every single title with the exception of like the X division. Like Leon could keep that. But like I was like, give it to the elegances because I know I was kind of getting into the point that we were just talking about. Where like if you look at this from the outside looking in, like there's way too many former TNA talents that like don't need to be here. And guess what? The inspiration were one of the ones I was gonna mention on the knockout side anyway.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
even
thought
back
I thought that
Heather.
they were just taking up space in the company, and I didn't really feel like they added anything. It's not like the Rascals. I think the Rascals is actually like the big loss. Like I don't see Jake something being gone as like a huge, and I'm a huge Jake something fan. I like him, but he was just the guy they were never going to get behind. But
Yeah,
I see that the
that's
Rascals
unfortunate
as a big
because
loss. I don't see the inspiration of Killer Kelly as a big loss. I see that as an opportunity for other people to step up. And so with inspiration out, I was hoping that, Harley Hudson and Mila Grace would be able to, be elevated, but instead it looks like we're getting Indy Hartwell's gonna have a tag partner, and it looks like we're gonna be getting Cora Jade now. Cora Jade's in the company. Cora Jade stinks. So she left wrestling to do porn, and it looks like that didn't work out. So she's back in wrestling. So hopefully that works out better for her than last time. But yeah, she's back in the company. I don't know. I was hoping that with these women that were out of the company, that the younger women that they brought in from the Indies would actually get a chance to step up.
Well, so I was just going to say this, and I know we kind of were throwing names out in the chat. I think one or both of them might have been victim to the visa issue as well. Because I know at least Mila does a ton of stuff in the UK still. She's like the
Oh
OTT,
yeah.
like women's champion or something like that. So she's always over there. So like maybe Harley was here, but Mila Grace might not have been able to make it or something like that. Hopefully, we can start seeing some clarity on the New Mexico stuff, like some of the stuff sorted out by then. But I was surprised you didn't see like after how much they hyped it and how much they see them constantly like going after the tag titles. I was surprised we didn't see anything from like the Diamond Collective, which is like Mila Moore and Tessa Blanchard and that group over there.
I'm surprised too. They were there, right? They were taking pictures there. We didn't see that. Like we could have had some more matches. I'm just gonna
and that bothered me because like you could have put AJ Francis in a match and you just showed him in the crowd. What are we doing?
They had Cedric there, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't put Cedric and Moose in a match, right? I know they're gonna wrestle in the three-way Genesis, but like you could have just had them wrestle each other tonight. They could have done something like a tag match.
You could have AJ Francis versus Cedric Alexander.
We needed an X Division showcase match because we lost the Leon and Myron Reed match. We needed something to backfill it. I assumed they were going to backfill it, and they never did. And you know what else they never did? They advertised, or not, I don't think they advertised, but it got reported that Stax was going to defend the international title. He didn't do that.
Okay, so that one, let me clarify that one because I think I was the one that kind of took that quote, and like me and Dobby were kind of playing around with it a little bit. The way that it was quoted is Tommy Dreamer said he will defend his title on national TV or be there on Thursday. So I think that he kind of was able to use that to clarify it. That's gonna be another match that gets added to Genesis because I'm sure they're gonna find some goofy for him to defend it against. But,
yeah,
like,
well, they got it. They have a ton of matches.
This Genesis card has just gone from like bad to worse. Like I know some of it's out of their control because obviously the visa issues, but it's just like, what are we doing here?
Well, whenever you have those issues go down, what you do is you let the wrestlers wrestle. That's usually when things get better. I remember years ago, it was a WWE show like in the fall, and a bunch of the wrestlers got sick, and they couldn't make the show. So they just like, hey, look, we have a depleted roster. They called up some people from NXT. And they flew AJ Styles from halfway around the world. It's like, AJ Finn Balor, you guys just go take care of business. No feud, no storyline, no nothing. They just went and wrestled and had a fucking banger match. And they put Kurt Angle with the Shield in the main event, and they tore the house down. Like whenever your roster gets depleted and the situation is beyond your control, which I have a problem with that. I think that I think it's incompetence that those visas didn't get. And now people are blaming the government, but I saw foreign wrestlers. Pac was just on fucking Dynamite last night, right? Like I don't think that this is like a government issue putting an all stop to like Brits and Mexicans coming into the country. It's the fucking incompetent people in TNA not getting the goddamn visas straightened out ahead of time, right? Like that's
Pac is also probably signed to an actual legitimate contract.
Yes. Yeah, well, everybody else is on these per date bullshit contracts.
Whatever kind of deals they are, and I'm sure that makes it difficult too. Like because that usually the company will take care of it, but if you're only on a 3-month deal and your deal just came up, and like, are you actually employed? Are you in the process of negotiating? And see, this is part of my issue with this whole thing too. Is like, you announced this new TV deal on December 2nd. Why are we still here a month later negotiating with anybody?
Yeah.
This should have all gotten done. Should have all gotten done before the deals at the end of the year expired. You should have had agreements in place with people and say, hey, look, this is like maybe the financials weren't exactly what they wanted them to be, but like, listen, we know what we have to do to work with now, and this is like we're gonna have a little bit more money later because I'm sure you still had some of the Anthem budget in place. even when you got this AMC money, like that just would have added to it, not taken away from it.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
you
No,
could have
I
you could have at
I
least
feel
had
you.
the agreements in place and then worked out the rest of them before the end of the year. So now you're at your first show of the year, 2 weeks into the new year, and it just shit the bed. I this week for TNA, the best word I can think of to describe it is shit show.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
the entire week.
I I I completely agree. We'll see what happens with Genesis. Like the matches are not marquee, I would say.
I still
And
think we could get like I don't think it carries into February because I think by then they're kind of gonna have like their roster set because I know like that's one of the things that Sean Ross said yesterday before he reported on the Rascals and Hobbs is he's like in the next week and a half there's just gonna be a ton of movement through all across the wrestling landscape through a whole bunch of companies, talent coming, going, whatever. So
yeah.
I would
So
say by like the dates that they announced in February, we should know like mid-February, we should have a pretty solid idea of who's there and who's not going to be there and that type of stuff going forward. But like I could still see Cross showing up at Genesis or like maybe next week in New Mexico. Like I'll give you that because those are both going to be live events. But after that, it's just like this is pretty much going to be who we have and this is what we're going to work with.
yeah, and I'm sure more, some news will come out tomorrow, and then of course we're gonna have Genesis, and we did. It looks like next week in Albuquerque we actually have like a full card announced, and so that's good, and we got
Yeah,
some
Jeff
dates.
Hardy and Mustafa Ali. You got the
Yeah,
Future Fire coming back. You got they're gonna reveal the new member of the system. That's one where you could possibly see somebody new coming in.
yeah.
Um,
I I mean it's gonna be EC3, right, in the system, or is it Matt
that's
Taven?
I mean I would love for it to be either one. Or I would love for to bring both in. To be honest, it sounds like Taven might be going to NWA, but it could be EC3, and I think me and Dobby were kind of talking about it the other day in the chat, and it was just like, man, you could have him in the system as like the only heel in the system, and he's like so far gone that he doesn't realize that everybody else isn't the heel around him.
Yeah,
So he's just sitting there like trying to be the leader of the group and like go one way, and the rest of the group's going a different way, or like something like that. But like a lot of people see MJF on the national stage now, and they didn't get to see EC3 back in 2016 and 2015 when he had this 1% gimmick, which is a lot of what MJF took his gimmick off of. So I like, and now if they see it, they're probably gonna be like, "Oh, this guy's an MJF copycat." Well, no, he wasn't, but you guys just weren't around to see the other part of it.
yeah. All right, Gerard, stick around. We got a few minutes left. It's almost midnight. I'm gonna try to get out of here by midnight. But there were some questions in the chat. So King of the North, and I'm gonna answer this one. Has the money terms from AMC been confirmed by a credible outlet? It has not been reported by any outlet. Our buddy Blake talked about it in one of his things. He's saying that it was a 10 mil a year, but I think it was more speculation. I'm reporting independently of everybody else. This is Mike Gilbert's report, and you can fucking write it down. God damn it. I've said it a million times. This thing's a rev share deal. And I heard about it in September. Gerard, can you back me up? I heard about it in September.
Yep, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I heard about it in September. I heard about AMC in September, and that when they got it was going to be a rev share, meaning an ad split. And nothing that has come out since then has changed my mind on that. Now I can't confirm it. Like I don't have access to the books, like TNA has not admitted that. But the fact of the matter is that CAA, if TNA was getting 10 mil a year, they would be screaming it from the rooftops. I think this is an ad split similar to what AEW had whenever they were with TNT. I just know it, right? So you guys can write that down. I'm sure maybe somebody can like prove me wrong, but until somebody proves me wrong, that's what I'm going with because that's fucking what I heard back in September. And then it says is next week live or tape. So here's the schedule, and I don't have the dates in front of me, but yeah, next week is live. They're doing live from Albuquerque, and then they'll probably do a taping after that airs, and then they got another live. They got a taping on Friday night, next Friday, And then in February, they're going to Gerard. Where are they going in February? Is it Atlanta or Nashville? Nashville.
February's Nashville. You're gonna get No Surrender on that Friday, and then I think it's the 13th, Friday the 13th. You're gonna get No Surrender, and then a TV taping on Saturday the 14th, and then it's like early March. I think it's like the 5th and 6th. You're gonna get a live Thursday show, and then a taping Friday, and then a couple weeks later we do that one's in Atlanta. And then the third one that they announced is New Orleans. And it's like March 27th and 28th, Friday and Saturday. That's going to be Sacrifice, and then the taping after that.
Okay. So that's what it looked like the schedule. So from now on, it's going to be a mixture of live and tape shows, which is what they've been doing for the last year. So nothing really has changed on that front. So, but yeah, Gerard, I think we're going to go ahead and call this a night. I apologize to everybody for the original feed getting killed. I'll be back up I might come back tomorrow on YouTube or Patreon if any news breaks. So that's what I'm looking at now. So
I'm sure there's gonna be something in the Observer. Dave's probably gonna shit all over this, but
yeah,
I'm sure there's gonna be some. All the talent are leaving. TNA is dead.
Oh yeah. So guys, look, I didn't like tonight's show. I'm telling you guys that it's gonna be a success. Because what we as wrestling fans that are like in this hardcore, that are obsessed with this shit, need to understand is that the things that we like and the things that we don't like are not really normal and don't really have an effect. I guarantee you there's a lot of people that like that show tonight. I just happen to not be one of them. And a lot of us are just really out of touch. I thought AMC advertised the show really well. TNA got out and did a lot of media in the build-up. And AMC bought like advertising on like big time football games and stuff over the weekend. And I thought they promoted it really well. I get the feeling this show is going to be a success. And Genesis is already upwards of, they blew past 3,000 already, right, Gerard?
Yeah, I want to say, let me see. I'll pull it up real quick. Yeah, that one. Genesis was at just about what was available, so it was like 3,050 out of 3,070. So I'm sure they're going to open up more seating tomorrow. That one will probably get up to like, I think this one got up to about 3,000 will be the final count. They'll probably have it tomorrow morning at WrestleTix. And then I could see that one getting up to like between 35 and 4.
Yeah, so they'll probably do right around what they did last year for Genesis, which is going to be pretty good. Like last year, they had a good crowd. So I get the feeling the show is going to do well. I'm curious to see how next week's show goes. If they can sell some tickets in Albuquerque, they announced some big matches, so hopefully they do, and we'll see what's going on with Genesis. All right, Gerard, let's get out of here.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Yep, guys in the chat, I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking with me. I know it's late. I'll be back on Sunday night, and until next time, mahalo.